Hello, everyone, and welcome to our analysis of the ACBL Summer Instant Matchpoint game. I'm Rob Barrington here with the famous Gavin Wolpert, and we're responsible for the written analysis, but we would not have done this if we didn't have an opportunity to create a video along with it because we struggled throughout this just coming up with the best auctions for all these crazy hands you guys just played.
It was painful. This has been, I will say, I have so much respect for all of the people who have done these booklets in the past. Like, you get the book and it's so absolute. You have a few lines to
Yeah,
describe what the suggested auction is, but obviously on every single hand, there's so many variables. Who are you playing against? Are you playing against the crazy preemptor, or are you
yeah.
playing against the super passive people? Are you playing against the people who never stop bidding and will always compete one more level? Or were you playing against the people who are sound
Yeah,
and
just sign
restricted?
off. Yeah, yeah, and we tried to cater to as many possibilities as we could in the written examples, but we're going to get to a lot more in the video portion. And what we did, Gavin, you and I did the entire analysis exhaustively, which we had a few questions though as we went through it as to what the heck would the other experts be doing. So what did we do? We brought a panel of experts in. In fact, a pair from USA One and a pair from USA Two for the upcoming World Championships. Brad Moss and Joe Grue, and John Kranyak and Vince Demuy, your teammates on USA One, and we asked them some questions about the boards you guys just played, and the answers will surprise you and hopefully delight you with some new knowledge.
Right. And what we did was we made a poll, like a survey for
We
them. And
blind polled them.
we sent them all a poll of about 10 or 15 questions. I don't remember exactly how many, and they gave us their answers, and then we brought them back into a video to discuss their decisions, show them what each other did, and it was fun to see some hands where they
Well,
did the same things and where they didn't.
because as we were going through this, Gavin, we looked at this and what the heck would we do with West End? Like, a perfect example is board three that we'll see relatively quickly, where it goes three spades and our suggested bid is six diamonds. Like, I mean, how often are you going to see that sort of thing? So,
Yeah.
so we enlisted some help and we certainly got it. And Gavin, you are going to have a really cool tool after everyone's done playing this game to kind of rehash these hands in a way.
Right. If you're watching this video and you didn't play in the instant match point game, or if you've played in the instant match point game and you want another shot at it, you
That'll be a lot of people, I think.
on my website on wolpertbridge.com, there will be a link right on the front page where you can click it and you can actually go and play the hands again. And not only can you play them, you can invite three friends to your table and play the hands together. And then you, after playing the 10 board in each 10 board segment section that we've divided this up into, you'll be able to play the hands and then watch the video.
Yeah, and this is great. Just, I mean, even if you have played in it, it's a great way to kind of redo the hands and either get them right or get them wrong again, even who knows. But you'll get a chance to kind of do that. And also, the ACBL is going to have this on their site, obviously. We're going to give them a few days to kind of have that exclusively, and then you'll see it on my YouTube page. And all these links will be there for you guys to go ahead and play. But I'm excited to bring the video analysis to all you guys. Are you ready, my friend?
Let's do it.
Let's jump into board one then.
We'll see
And
you
this
guys.
was our suggested auction that we put in our analysis. It was one spade with East questionably overcalling one no trump. We had some doubt as to what everybody would do here, and then South spid as well. We actually gave this hand to our buddies, and they overcalled two clubs instead of one no trump with the East hand.
They all kind of looked at it. Everybody kind of shot down double. The problem with double with the East hand, we saw three options with the East hand: double, a one no trump overcall, or a two club overcall. And it was interesting. We felt like one no Trump was the way to go because it shows your strength, it shows your values, and we hate overcalling five card minors. That's like a thing that too many people overcall five card minors. So we go over the top to tell people don't overcall five card minors at the two level if you have another viable alternative.
And
And
that
I
became kind of a theme of some other hands we had in this set as well, which we can talk about later. But yeah, that we both like to know Trump, and I think a lot of people like a no Trump in general in the field, but our guys like
well
two
the
clubs a lot as well.
the interesting thing is when we asked them about what you bid with his hand, they said they didn't like a two club overcall, but what they were worried about was if they overcall a no trump and the opponent's raise to spades like they did on this hand,
Yep.
like we're suggesting you should do on this hand, that they wouldn't feel like they're done. They wouldn't want to leave the opponents in two spades. There's such a good chance that it's right from the East perspective to compete to three clubs or even three hearts if partner has a
Yep.
heart fit. That's why they were uncomfortable with the one no trump overcall. But everybody felt like one no trump would be a pretty reasonable bid as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of a ho-hum start to the event in this hand because South also has a tough choice if it does go one to trump or two clubs, really.
Well, that was another interesting discussion that came up with our guys is that when East bids one no trump, in fact, South is more likely. They said that they were more likely to bid two spades with the South hand because the King Queen third of clubs are pretty good points behind the one no trump bidder. And one theme that kept coming up and you'll see as we talk to show you video of the guys discussing some of these hands, was not vulnerable against not vulnerable at match points. When everybody's not vulnerable, there's an incentive to compete because even if you take the opponents down in their contract, you're only getting 50 points a trick. And if you're making a contract, those 50 points a trick are not going to be good enough to cover your score. And on the other side of it, if you're making your contract, then or if you're going down, if they were making their contract, you're only going down for 50 points a
Yeah.
trick. So there's a real incentive to compete not vulnerable against not vulnerable. So
Yeah,
that's why
we'll look forward to that. We have more on that coming up in a minute when we bring the polling in. But here, this is a reasonable start. I would guess most people are either playing in the east chair or in the south, in the north south chairs. You're either playing two spades or you're playing something in the east west.
And one last thing we were thinking about was that West hand not knowing whether to compete here over two spades. It turns out that East West, in their best
Have a
case
great heart
scenario,
fit.
would find hearts because in hearts they will only lose one spade, two diamonds, and a club. This is the East West side, so they'll make three hearts with only four losers. But it's hard because you don't know you have a fit. West only has Queen empty fifth of hearts and kind of a balanced hand. I will
And
say
well,
you
that
do.
that gives it south gives the two spade bid more of a obstructive view here because if they don't bid two spades, it's going to be an easy transfer to hearts and now they're going to have a
Absolutely.
known nine card heart fit, so the two spade bid becomes even better here.
There's one thing that's going for West to compete on this hand, and that's because West has three spades. So when you have three spades and you know your partner only has two, the chances are partner's got three hearts over there. So
Mhm.
there is definitely incentive for West to compete to three hearts. We didn't put it on the suggested auction, but
Sure.
if you were playing Lebensal, then it's a pretty interesting bid there for West to bid two no trump, forcing your partner to bid three clubs, and then you bid three hearts. And if you're watching this and you're like, I have no idea what
Just
Lebensal
we'll
is,
move on to the
don't
next one.
worry about it. Yeah.
But it's interesting though, knowing that partner, if you do see the two spade raise, knowing partner has two spades, they're not going to be overcalling if they've overcalled a no trump with 2-2 in the majors here. I mean, you would expect them not to be doing that, you know. So here, it is a nice little piece of information you have. So that's board one, folks. Let's jump into board two. All right, board number two. Here's our auction on this hand. We start with a couple of passes, and then West has honestly an opening bid in any seat. This is three quick tricks by West. Even if you don't have this good of a shape, Gavin, any shape essentially, you're opening with this hand because it's ace king in one suit, ace in another. Here in third chair, I mean, I would think everybody's opening this hand. I would hope.
I like to open most hands with 11 points in five card majors, especially
Same.
when you're 5-4. It qualifies for the rule of 20. When you add your two longest suits, 5 and 4 is 9 cards plus 11 points. It comes to 20, and that's a good rule of thumb for when you're opening the bidding. And so it's definitely an opening bid in any seat. But in third chair, we're willing to even open a little bit more aggressively. So here it's actually not even the worst hand
Yeah.
we would open. Yeah.
And then we just have kind of a classic auction here. It goes two diamonds by North, and that's what a two-level overcall looks like. Six-card suit. We don't want to double because it brings clubs into play, right? Even though we do have that beautiful spade suit as well.
Well, there are some people around that have an
No.
agreement called equal level conversion, which is
Yuck.
complicating things. If you haven't heard of it before, but I bet so some people will watch this and say that's crazy. You should double play, and
And
then
then correct two clubs, two diamonds.
right, exactly. But the big problem with doubling, if you don't have any agreements with your partner, is that if you double with the north hand and partner bids clubs like you're expecting them to do, because that's your shortest suit, that's the suit that they're most likely to respond to your double with, then most people play that after partner bids two clubs, when the takeout doubler changes to a new suit, like here, if we corrected two clubs to two diamonds, that would show a really strong hand, a hand that
Yeah.
would say, forget about my takeout double, partner.
I just
I
have a
have I
big
have
hand with this
I have
suit.
I was too strong to overcall diamonds. So if you can't go that route. You can't double. You want to bring the spades into the picture, but you have to hope that you overcall two diamonds, and perhaps partner will have an opportunity to also say something about spades, maybe with a responsive double
Well, and also
or
let's take away one diamond and put it in the club suit, and now we have the automatic double of all time, right? It's just not quite the right shape for this. But I mean, the nice alternative to be able to bid a reasonably nice six card suit is in this
yeah,
spot.
exactly. Happy to bid two diamonds.
And then East, we kind of have a lot of options with the East hand, but it's much better than what we think, right? Because of a fourth heart, the fact that we have a singleton club. I mean, it looks pretty good. The only thing that looks bad on this auction is the Queen of Diamonds, right?
Yeah, the Queen of Diamonds are not amazing points, but at least they're well placed behind the Diamond bidder.
Sure.
If push comes to shove, it might help you. But it's really important that you don't look at the East hand and just count it as 8 points, because that Singleton club has tremendous value, and combined with the trump fit, it's not just a Singleton club on its own. It's the fact that we have this 9 card trump fit, and we're going to be expecting to take club roughs in our hands. So when the
Yep.
moment we rough a club with the 5 of hearts, that's an extra trick, and that our high card points are not accounting for. So we must account for it with support points, and support points, we should be adding 3 points to our hand for that singleton club. It's 5 for a void, 3 for a singleton, 1 for a doubleton when we are supporting partner.
Very
And so
good.
that's why we
I
bid 3 diamonds. Yeah.
I had one question here, Gavin. When you're in this seat, are you catering or worrying about partner being a third seat opener? Are you going to be inclined to maybe downgrade in some spots here,
Well, with
or
the 9 card fit, I'm never going to be too worried about getting to the 3 level.
okay?
Even if partners got an aggressive opening, then this will act as a more preemptive kind of thing. Like we'll just take a whole level up. It'll sound like we own the hand when sometimes it'll even be the opponent's hand. So
Yeah,
the 9 card fit protects us. I
yeah,
love the 4 card fit. With a 3 card fit, when my partner's in third chair, if I'm playing with a partner that I know that we kind of agreed we're willing to open very light in third chair. To be honest with you, as I've matured, I've become a lot
less
less
of
of a
a
less of a
degenerate.
like yeah. I don't I When I open light in third chair, I usually have a very solid reason for it. Like I like to have a really good suit that I really want my partner to lead that suit.
That
That's
makes
usually
sense.
the only reason these days that I will invite. I'm
That
not
you'll
just
that
looking
you'll
to
kind of step outside the box a little bit for that.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah.
nice. All right, very nice. That's board two in the books, folks. Boards three and four. We're going to take a little look at those, Gavin, here in a moment, and then we're actually at the point where we've gotten to our poll questions for our other pros. So we're going to let these two boards kind of shake out in that discussion. You want to? The first problem we gave to our esteemed panel, Gavin, was this one. North, which we both agree is just an automatic three spade opener, white in third seat. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this suit quality wise. And just,
Textbook.
yeah. And East is presented with this problem. And we have the suggested auction, as you can see in your manuals, folks, of three spades, six diamonds with this hand. We kind of simplified it and are looking at this hand. And the discussion will jump off from this point, Gavin, with our panel. And then we have another discussion on board four, just another bidding problem. And we'll rejoin you right afterwards. And we will talk about the rest. All right, enjoy. Ross on board three as the East player. Three spades to you. What the heck?
Yeah, when we saw this hand, we thought this is one crazy decision. And when we finally decided to write in as 6 diamonds, it's a suggestive bid by East. We thought it was going to be funny. We thought people were going to see this and be like, "These guys are crazy. What are they doing?" But I'm so happy that we have these guys, the rest of these awesome players with us here to back us up a little bit and not make us look like crazy people for our suggested auction.
Well,
So
let's look at all your choices, and here's what everybody did except for Vinny. And honestly, before we came on, Vinny, Cran was saying double is probably the right choice, and you validated it by this one. But everyone else bid six diamonds here. What are you guys thinking here?
Well, double's the only other choice, right? I mean,
Oh,
we're not
four,
gonna
I thought 4-0 was the other choice.
4-0. I don't know.
Yeah.
My partner's gonna pass the double a lot. That's why I'm not gonna double. And I just want them to save the six.
If we have some 4-3-3 hand, we're just gonna pass the double. So, and the other thing is that when the opponents are favorable, it's hard for them not to save.
If they have a fit.
If they have 3 spades.
if they have
So the fact that you all felt like you were making 6 diamonds on this hand, and Vinny, you think the reason that you double first was because you would want to try to find 7. Is that your idea? Is that you
I couldn't make up my mind between double and 4-0. To me, that was my 2 only options.
And what would 4-0 mean?
Minors.
But then if your partner picked clubs, you would obviously still insist on diamonds, but you'd do
it's
something.
I think I'm just gonna bid 5 spades and try to get to 7 diamonds.
Because in order to make 7, you really need partner to have the ace of hearts and the queen of clubs taken care of. So you think you'll be able to find out about both those 2 cards. So the reason we put 6, just before you answer, the reason we put 6 diamonds as a suggested auction on this hand, or suggested bid by East, is we felt like it was just going to be so hard to diagnose whether you're making 7 and it looks like you're probably going to make 6. I mean, what do you need for 6? It's going to be hard to stop below 6. So that's why we kind of suggested to bid 6 times. Sorry. So you were saying, so you felt like you could find those 2 cards, that queen of clubs.
Well, if I start with 4-0 and then partner bids 5 clubs, which is most likely, I can bid 5 spades. Now he knows we're off the ace of heart,
It's a really smart bid, Vinny.
I think 100%. Now that I think 4-0 is probably the right. And you're always.
I think Vinny's right, but I think he's wrong in practice, because I think now then they're like, if they have a close save hand, they might look at their clubs now and be like, well, I'm not saving. You know what I mean? Like, he's right to get to the right contract, but forgetting like that you're just making it easier for them not to save, I think.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I didn't even think of it. I was thinking of double or 6 diamonds.
I didn't think of 4-0.
And I don't like double. But if I had thought of 4-0, I would have bid it.
I think once you're bidding 4-0 anyways, it's going to be, usually they're going to be saving in 6 spades over 6 diamonds, the same they are 4-0 followed by 6 diamonds or 5 diamonds, They might.
Well, if they got queen jack 4th of clubs, they're probably not saving. That's all. Just lead a trump.
Yeah.
You're going to tell them not to sacrifice, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying, you won't land on their face as much if you tell them what you have in your hand. Or is it the other way around? Yeah, if you don't tell them what you have in your hand, maybe they'll make a mistake.
Either way, right?
That is the most Joe Grue analysis ever, and you're probably right. I mean, I get it.
Where's the 7 diamond bid? 3 spades, 7 diamond.
7
Yeah,
diamonds.
right?
That's just rolling the dice, right?
Well, I mean, are they gonna sack or not?
I'd rather have stiff ace of hearts for that. Stiff small spade.
But it's interesting. There's a practical sense for the students and the players watching, the advancing players. I mean, 6 diamonds is not unreasonable, and it's simple, right? It just kind of gets the point across, and maybe you're cold for 7, but whatever. Be happy you kind of found the right bid here.
I would imagine that there were more people who were bidding 5 diamonds because they could see 2 losers in their hand. I think that's much more common in the game, that people will be bidding 5 diamonds.
I'll bet you a bunch of newer players bid 3-0 trump.
3-0 trump. That'd be. We suggested 3-0 trump
Not
as
the
a
worst.
possible other bid that you might overcall. It's kind of because I would have thought that most people would not have considered 3-0 with
Part
a
of it's
stiff.
4 diamonds.
That's only at match points. I mean,
part of it's 4 diamonds. You bid 5 diamonds. Part of it's 5 hearts. You bid 6 diamonds. Part of it's 6 hearts.
but as a beginner, important to understand that this hand, is not your normal 21 points. It's pretty much a 1.5 loser hand or something like that. And, the reason is because you have so much shape, you have all your cards in 2 suits, and you have that one suit that's beautiful, ace, king, queen, 7th. That's not worth 9 points. That's worth 16 points.
Magic.
Yeah, and imagine just jack 5th of clubs, or the ace of hearts and 4 low clubs, or jack 4th of clubs. It's very you can't know about the 3rd and 4th clubs, but you have such good chances to discard your club losers, or them to be taken away by length. Of course, you could rough them in the dummy, but that's far less likely.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's take a look at our next question we had for you guys, and that was board number 4. The next, we already have a misclick, I believe, that's been discussed here. Cran, you meant to bid 2 diamonds on this hand.
Yeah, I really thought it was a joke hand because I thought I had my partner's other minor or not my partner's minor.
But what did you bid? Did you bid 2 spades or pass?
He passed.
Okay.
He passed. But yeah, this
Fine.
we were just curious as if this was just our automatic bid here of two diamonds, and you guys all kind of did the same thing. I think we were thinking here, right, Gavin?
Yeah, well, I think that some people might have been a little bit concerned about bidding two diamonds, like from of the people playing in the game, because you only have 4 card support, and they've overcalled no trump showing diamond stoppers. So we kind of wanted to present this hand to show that you guys would all bid two diamonds with this hand, and
You could also present this hand as like something like, it's not that confusing to play like the same thing you would over no trump. You could play Capoletti, you could play two clubs of the majors, you could play if you play Capoletti, then 2 of a major is that and a minor.
so if you were playing Capoletti, you would bid two spades
bid
with
two
this hand to
spades,
show spades and a minor.
And then you
Yeah.
can get back to
you get a minor,
diamonds. Yeah.
yeah.
And just so you know, the two diamond bid, Cran was not a pass; it was a two diamond. So I'm crossing that out for our viewers, and they know that everybody bid two diamonds on this one, and that is perfect.
Let's
Let's
take
take that
a
was
look.
obviously a good discussion on those two boards there, and we will see more of that as we step through these boards. As we said, we gave them a whole bunch of problems that we didn't want to deal with ourselves, and you can see how the discussion ensued. And we have a few more of those upcoming, but board 5 is next. And here's what we thought on this end. And notice we're opening a club with the south hand, and West is overcalling this terrible suit, but it's such a good hand shape wise that we're okay getting in here with this suit. That's way too good to preempt.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, this just south opening bid. This hand with 8 clubs, sometimes you like to preempt and take up space, but this hand is just so strong.
Yeah.
It's not strong enough for a 2-club opener. So if anybody with this 13-point hand was thinking, "Ooh, I have 7 or 8 club tricks and adding a half a trick for each of my kings," you can't be opening 2 clubs on these hands, because what happens is partner, when they have 9 or 10 points, they just get super excited, and unfortunately, when partner has 9 or 10 points opposite this two club opener with this hand, 9 or 10 points, we might not even make game if partner has the wrong 9 points. So you really got to be careful of getting too aggressive with these trick taking hands. So 1 club was the sweet spot for us, and yeah, West's 1 diamond overcall. I wouldn't. It's not completely crazy with the West hand, with your partner being a passed hand, for you maybe to preempt with this
Sure.
West hand, because it's only 10 or 11 points. The chances of you making a game are pretty low. But the thing I don't like about preempting is that we're 3-3 in the majors. So, and if partner does have a 5-card major, that's probably going to be where we want to play. So I don't like preempting with the West hand so much with this particular shape. So that's why we kind of settled on a diamond. And then
North is going for blood here. I know a lot of you are looking, why isn't North bidding a heart? Why aren't they doing something with this hand? But think of North's dream scenario in this auction. They want partner to reopen double so they can pass for penalties. So it's interesting. It might look weird, but that is a pretty classic example of trying to get partner to do something that's pretty normal.
Yeah, you do have 7 points and 4 hearts, so your hand perfectly qualifies for a
Sure.
1 heart bid. Those of you that did bid 1 heart, and just as a quick refresher, a negative double here after a club, a diamond, would promise both 4-4 in the majors. So anybody who doubled with the North hand, you're representing a 4th spade that you didn't have. But yeah, this hand looks great for defense with North's hand. They want to defend 1 diamond. If it goes a diamond, all pass, and partner leaves them in 1 diammind, that's great. You're defending 1 diamond with king, queen, jack, 5 of diamonds, and
Probably your
if
best
partner
plus score here.
and if partner does reopen double with a takeout
Living
type of
dream.
hand, yeah, we're gonna get a nice little number against 1 diamond doubled. And the best part is you only have 7 points, so you don't think you're making a game. So
yeah, and 6 of them are in the opponent's suit that they've just overcalled with. So
right,
it's just like,
no entries because
Yeah.
partner's going to be short in diamonds. Our hand is going to be pretty useless from a playing perspective, and so if all we need to do is get them down 2 doubled for 300, and it's probably going to be good enough for a top. Now, life isn't perfect here for North. It didn't work out that way. And East had a problem of their own, and this is something that we've kind of wrestled with, because we really, usually when your partner overcalls at the 1 level and we bid a major, you'd really want to have a 5-card major. Sometimes you're
always at the 2 level, but the 1 level is kind of an interesting area, especially with hands like this.
Well, this hand actually could qualify for a 1 no trump response.
Sure.
We do
especially if North did bid a heart. they probably would bid a no trump, right?
Oh
With this
yeah,
hand.
for sure,
So
for sure. Yeah, because you have a club stopper, it's a little suspect, but you don't need to worry that much about when they open a club. I'm less worried about having a club stopper than if they opened a spade having a spade
right.
stopper because
Right.
they
And
don't
the
always
nine
have
adds
ace king eighth of clubs.
the
You
nine
know
adds
they
a little bit of juice to this too. I don't
yeah.
know.
So if you one no trump would have been perfectly reasonable with East. I don't think that would have really changed South's bid here.
No,
If East
yeah.
did bid one no trump, South needs to represent a really strong hand with clubs, and it's very important that you understand this three club bid is actually even stronger than a
Yeah.
normal
It's
three
not
club.
just 16 to 18.
Right, because partner didn't show 6 points. Partner passed over diamond, so South is jumping to the 3 level all by themselves. So you don't have to worry about like feeling like is 3 clubs doing this hand justice
Yeah.
with you feeling like you have like 8 tricks. So you definitely it's worth a 3 club bid. And North actually has a hard time over 3 clubs. It's not 100% that you're supposed to pass 3 clubs. You have diamonds well stopped, you have hearts well stopped. So if you decided to bid 3
Sympathies
no
for
trump
3
over
now.
3
Yeah.
clubs, I totally feel your pain as you went down $1 million in 3 no trump
I mean,
because
if clubs broke though, you were going to do okay. But the
yeah,
problem
for
is,
sure, for sure.
the clubs were not breaking.
No, you were gonna go, and like even if clubs were even with clubs not breaking, you still might have bought an entry with one of your 2 kings, but
Right.
not today. Not
Not with the
today.
West cards over
The
there. You're
ace
just
sitting over the
crushed.
kings. As long as you
Yeah.
didn't feed South an entry after their clubs were good, East West was gonna really enjoy defending 3 no trump. But total sympathies to North South if you did end up playing 3 no trump on this
And
hand.
as we talked about, in situations like this, you're just in a spot where you you might get it right in bid 3-0 and get a huge plus score, but we get the luxury of watching all the cards, so we know it's okay to pass 3 clubs with the North. But honestly, sitting there with that North hand, you're right. It's a tough choice. You go on to board 6, Gavin. Okay, board 6. We looked at this and we talked about this in a couple different hands, I think, if I remember correctly. South can see a problem coming here on this particular deal, right? And they prepare for it by going this route.
Yeah, you when you have a spade void, you know partners responding a spade. So
Yeah.
so it's not even because they're mean to you or you're unlucky or anything like that. It's just what are the odds? There's 13 spades in the deck and they're dealt between the other 3 hands. Partner's gonna have on average almost 5 of them, right? Four and something on average. So partners definitely their longest suit rates to be spades, and so we have to kind of anticipate before we open the bidding. What is our rebid going to be? And if you open a club with this hand and partner bids a spade, you can't rebid 1 no because that shows a balanced hand. We would need 2 spades for that. So if you had opened a club,
You're
your only
defaulting to
option
rebidding
would
2
be to
clubs.
rebid 2 clubs because a club past a spade past 2 diamonds is a value showing reverse. It sends the hand up towards the 3 level, and we only have 11 points, so we can't do that. So sometimes this is one of these rare circumstances where we have to, before we open the bidding, decide, okay, let's plan ahead. And this time we felt like it was right to not open our longest suit, distorting our minor suit shape, but
Our second bid becomes more descriptive, though, right? Because if we were to have gone the first route, 1 club, and then rebid 2 clubs, we're showing 6 cards in the club suit, so we're lying already about that. Here, we at least get to show some sort of 5-4-ish in diamonds and clubs, maybe 4-4-ish, who knows? But we at least get to have this hand fully out there.
Just what's interesting for those that did open a club, West see was a little easier over a diamond. West had a pretty normal hand to not make a takeout double of diamond. They don't have support for the other 3 suits. They only have a doubleton club. So with only having a doubleton club, they didn't think about doubling. But over a club, West might have counted their points up to 11 and said, I do have support for the other 3 suits, but this hand is still not good enough for a takeout double over 1 club. You have the wasted queen of clubs. You're vulnerable. And the last piece is partner's already a passed hand. So with partner being a passed hand, when you have this kind of yucky 11 points, I would say aceless, quacky queen and 3 jacks, you're asking for trouble coming in with a takeout double. You might have survived this time, except you still would have told the opponents quite a bit about the hand. So when they're playing the hand, it might have been easier for them to play it had you made a takeout double. So no takeout double from West. And then from there, the auction kind of goes Yeah, South finished their plan of showing both minors. Again, we can't bid hearts at our next turn because that's
reverse.
higher than our first suit. So it's a reverse and it forces the hand to the 3 level. So we would need 17 points to bid 2 hearts with South. So we only bid 2 clubs. And now North, you have a pretty good hand. You have 2 aces, you have 4-card diamond support. The thing is, we just went over a few hands ago that concept of dummy points and adding points for your shortness. The one thing you need to be afraid of is when you have a minor suit fit for your partner, you're headed towards 3 no trump. And in 3 no trump, your short suits are not going to add any value whatsoever.
Exactly.
So you can't go adding a point for your doubleton heart or a point for your doubleton club and jumping to 3 diamonds with this hand to show 10 points or 11 points, because when partner does
Partner's
accept your
gonna
invitation,
snap off 3
it's
no
going to
if they
bid
do
3
it.
no. Somebody's going to come down and they're going to be like, what's over there? What you got? No, only 2 aces, only 8 points. I
To
thought
be
you said
fair,
you had 11.
to be fair, Gavin, the instant match point game is around July 4th, and that is one of the dates, that you are allowed to play 5 of a minor. So might be some residual 5 of a minor people out there.
Okay. But anyway, we felt like North bid 2 diamonds, and now once North's bid 2 diamonds, North must keep in the back of their mind, like, I have a great hand now. So if any
Yeah,
more bidding happens,
they're
like
gonna
if
bid.
South takes a 3rd bid, North now has an absolute, like, one of
Yeah,
the best hands they could
yeah,
have
because
for a
they've
2 diamond bid.
they haven't undersold. They've sold appropriately, but at the very high end of their range there for
Right,
sure.
but 2 diamonds doesn't even promise a fit in some cases, right? Partner, we're
Yeah.
just, when North bids 2 diamonds, it just carries the message like, I prefer 2 diamonds to 2 clubs. That sometimes might only have 3 diamonds, sometimes might only have 2 diamonds. In a worst case, if we were 5-5-2-1, what are we going to do? We can't bid 2 hearts. It would be suit forcing. So we would just take a preference back to 2 diamonds. So 2 diamonds is kind of meaningless for
Yep.
South. South has an easy pass of 2 diamonds either way. They have a minimum and they're, off the hook. Thank you.
See you later.
Yeah.
All right, that's board 6. Now board 7 and 8, we actually I'll flash by them for us real quick because we had discussion with our panel. This was a hand that North South arrive in slam, and we gave the guys an opening lead problem for the East player, and that's a pretty fun discussion. And then we just had a bidding problem on board number 8 for our gentlemen, and we sat them as the East player. And we kind of saw what happened after South actually makes a no Trump overcall in second chair. So take a look at that discussion, folks, and we'll see you on the other side.
What happens on this hand is, yeah, well, in general in slams, when the opponents have 2 sources of tricks like this, that long spades are going to hit and dummy, and declarer's got long hearts, there's a risk that our tricks are going to go away. So it's definitely, there is an urgency to lead more aggressively. So again, we put it in the notes, but we really wanted to hear from the experts and what they would lead blind, because we remember when we were doing the notes, we could see
We
all
could
4
see all the
hands.
hands,
It's
yeah.
very hard to go and be objective about what the right lead is when you can see the whole hand. So we really wanted to see what you guys would see. So let's put up their responses to.
There we go. All right, we had 3 club leads, a couple diamond leads, and Brad in there with the interesting heart lead, which you did discuss a little bit, and you can expand on that here if you want, but
Phase might not break, might make them win the ace heart.
So the first thing is that, right, that leading a club or a diamond, right? The idea is, it sounds like they didn't bid when 4 no trump has 5 hearts, right? They didn't bid 5 no trump. So it sounds like they're off probably a key card. It could be the queen of spades, but that's not so likely. It's possible. But if your partner has a key card, in order for a club or a diamond to be right, you have to set up a king in clubs or diamonds in partner's hand, in addition to the key card, in addition to your king of hearts in the pocket. So that's a lot to have to happen. So the first thing is, you could have the ace king of hearts. Your 2 tricks could be the ace king of hearts and they go away. The other thing is, at match points, by leading a heart, the declarer could easily be afraid you have a singleton heart and not finesse. Having the king third of hearts in front of the heart opener is not a very good holding to have for your prospects of beating a slam. So it could steal a trick that you weren't entitled to, or it could just be your best way to get 2 tricks, I think.
interesting. And the
Funny,
club
when I was
leaders?
Yeah, I mean, when I was given this hand the second time, I wasn't sure whether I led a club or a diamond. Although I'm not sure that I want to lead a heart, but a heart lead also, you lead a heart. They're gonna really think that you have short hearts, and they might play the hand completely differently on a hand that, sort of plays itself if they have to, lose a heart and then rough out a heart or do something like that. Yes, I mean, I think I lead a club just because if my partner gets to win the heart, I'm not sure 100% that they're off a key card. Maybe the north hand just kind of has a hand that realizes it probably isn't going to make seven, opposite a limited hand, one heart, one spade, one no. And so, they might have all the key cards, but that might know, oh, well, my partner can't have these two other cards in addition to his two key cards, so I'm just going to play six. But in other auctions, I 100% agree that once they don't have a key card, now you have a whole different problem. You
And
have
you're coming to that your deduction just based on the fact they bombed six spades over five hearts, right? They didn't kind of confirm anything, and that they
right. That's the reason why you consider that they're
good just for
probably
our
off card in other auctions. In some auctions, you would know that they're off a key card because it's not that guy. Neither hand has really limited their hand before they got to bid Blackwood. Here, the hand bid one no. Now he could still have a great hand to bid one no, but there's still a high card restraint on that hand.
Yeah, Johnny, I think that's a great point. The only thing is, they're five hearts coming down dummy, so a source of, like, dummy could have king queen jack fifth of hearts, or ace king queen fifth. You could. It's hard to totally preclude seven when there are five hearts in the dummy.
got it.
Right.
And Joe, and you can hold the torch for Johnny Hurt as
I'll speak
well.
for Johnny.
You
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you diamond leaders
I'll
as
speak for
well.
Johnny. I would say for me to lead a heart in this auction, only because I don't feel like if I have the ace king hearts, I know I love leading from the king there. If I think it's going to go away, I don't think it's so likely to go away. And I have a stiff spade, so that it's those two combined that I just wanted to lead passively. I think a club's reasonable. I think they're all reasonable, but having a stiff spade, I was just like, well, I'm going to be a little conservative.
Like a Trump lead would have punished you. The Trump leaders
I'm
would
not
have
leading a Trump.
picked up their partners. Yeah, you wouldn't lead your singles in Trump. Yeah.
Partner could have king 10 fourth of spades or something,
Hand number 8, we had another question for the gentleman here. You started with a diamond opening bid. It went a no trump, and then back to you as the East player on board number 8. This was your choice. And I think this one was pretty much almost everybody doubling with a couple of passes in there. And that was Vince and Kevin on this one. This just kind of seemed normal to all you guys as far as just.
But nobody's vulnerable on its match points. I just want to double and hope my partner bids something. Like, I mean, normally we would play double as something specific, but I don't think double's like, hey, I got 18 points. I know I'm going to beat him. I'm not even on lead. I think it's just like, I got a good hand. I'm not expecting partner pass very often.
You think for the viewers at home that they would think double is anything, but I have a big hand here.
I have a good hand, but it doesn't mean partner has to pass. If partner has like 2 points, they should not, they should be passing when they have like a 5 count, passing when they think they're going to beat it opposite a good hand.
Yeah. So if it had been, like Joe said, if it had been any other situation except equal white at match points, I definitely think pass is the right bid. But like I even said in the comment section that Joe and I played double as conventional. It shows that shortness somewhere, and I would just lie and pretend I had short clubs and 3 suited, because when I have this good a hand, selling out to one no trump equal white at match points does not feel like it's going to be a great result.
Yeah, I mean, equal white match points for people that are listening. Like if they play the hand in one no, and versus you playing the hand in one no, you take 7 tricks, you get plus 50 if you're defending, you get plus 90 if you're declaring. So it's just always a lot better to be declaring when nobody's vulnerable, regardless. Whenever it's close in a battle, you always want to fight to play the hand,
unless you're doubling them.
That's good stuff.
Doubling, but I mean, whatever. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's right from Joe's mouth. The rules from Joe Grue. Perfect. Anybody else have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm just used to pass those hands. I play doubles, take out of clubs here. That's our agreement. But I mean, I kind of have that in the same way, but I've just been used to passing those hands and not thinking about it. But I agree with the white situation here.
Yeah. All right. Very nice,
Man up
boys.
and bid 2 spades too, you know.
I'm gonna guess that the majority of the field would not pass. Like I think that
Yeah.
people
Oh, they're
look
gonna
at their
double.
18-point
They
hand.
can't
People,
resist.
it's
They're all
too hard
double.
for people to resist coming back in with his hand. So some
Yep.
people are gonna look at pass. You have 18 points. What, like pass? You have more points than they do, and that's true. You do have more points than they do, but you're not on lead. And
Yeah.
that for starters, I mean, partner probably is gonna lead a
If they
diamond.
were
But
vulnerable, I would probably pass and just be like, let's,
Sure. Let's get
that-
plus
go
200
plus 100,
and
plus
these
100
spots.
even.
Yeah.
do you still think do you think they're going down probably in one no?
But I wish I was on lead, but yes, I do think they're.
But it's a fair point. Partner's probably leading a diamond, and if they
Sure.
don't,
Whatever they lead can't be that bad. But if they lead a club, it's probably not. You much rather prefer they lead a diamond. They don't
Yeah,
know.
but they have 5 clubs if they're leading a
If
club.
they lead a club,
They lead
it's
a
fine.
club. If my partner leads a club, I get no trick.
I know.
They're taking 0. Yeah.
Okay, Gavin. A few of the boards, we're not sure about everything we put down on here, and could go so many different ways. And this happened to be one of them. With the south hand, over one spade pass. This hand has a weird valuation to it. It's very strong, but it's not high card strength strong. It's shape strong. And
We
we
had a
have
hard time coming
We did.
to a decision of what to put on in the booklet for this south hand. The thing that and it's nice we get the video as an opportunity to kind of convey
Yeah,
our thoughts, because
because
the thing that we wanted to emphasize in this hand is that this south hand, while it's only got 7 points, it has high card points. It has the playing strength for game.
yeah,
We can't really we really want to find a bid that's going to get us to 4 spades. Now we don't love the 4 spade call, because
no,
4
in fact,
spades in general, it shows a weak hand with 5 card support, right? That's what 1 spade, 4 spade shows. We don't have a weak hand, and we don't
no,
have
this is
5 card
stronger.
support.
Yeah.
But
We talked about maybe a Bergen raise and then a 4 spade bid, or if you have some sort of other methods that you can
right,
force with.
what we didn't want to do is bid 1 spade, 3 spades as an invitational raise,
No way.
because the thing is that we could easily make game if partner's got a minimum. We don't want to give partner the opportunity to pass 3 spades with his hand. That's
And we don't want to go the other route and bid Jacoby 2-0, because that's kind of overselling
it's
the
over-representing
value
our hand.
of our hand.
So we if you do have Bergen raises available to you, this is kind of the perfect hand for conveying a limit raise to your partner. But then even when your
Getting the
partner
game.
says no, you just say, okay, well, I don't care. I really need to play game. That way partner gets the right representation of your strength, because that's what this hand kind of evaluates to.
Yeah.
Seven high cards. 3 points for our singleton diamond is 10. Another point for our doubleton club is 11. And so it is a limit raise in values. But the thing that we want to emphasize is when you have 2 suited hands and you have a 9 card fit in one of those 2 suits, your playing strength is just so much better than how it will look. And this you see this theme pretty commonly on Michael's hands when you're 5-5 or when your partner's 5-5 and you have 4 card support for one of the 2 suits. What makes it so great playing strength wise is we can so often rough out the second suit and make it good. Like ace jack 10-6, we can just set it up and take tricks. So
Or here, luckily, you're opposite king 9-3, right? So it's a hand, and you're going to get more information as we see as the auction transpires on our left. But it's important to understand that this is a bid as a placeholder for us. 4 spades is a bid we don't really even love, but it's hard to know what everyone's methods are. But if you have those vehicles available, you want to show a better than invitational hand, essentially. You want to get the game, but you don't want to oversell it. We find many methods in this way.
And now let's talk about the most interesting hand at the table.
West end.
West.
12 cards in the minors.
Yeah, you're looking for. I mean, it's ridiculous. The vulnerability is terrible for West. Even bidding 4-0 Trump, you're not happy about it. You're committing to 11 tricks with this hand. You could easily see this West hand losing a heart,
did
3 diamonds.
Did
2
we talk to the
clubs.
panel about this too? Did we dip in? Did they bid 6 clubs, or did they bid 4-0?
I think they
that might
bid
have been-
4. No,
and
I
then
think
they bid clubs later.
they either bid 4-0 or they bid 5 clubs. And what
They
happened
took
was,
action is the key. That's the big thing.
yeah, they didn't pass. They didn't sell out. You're kind of gambling, but if you don't bid, it could be your hand, especially after if it did go 4 spades, then you're kind of, it could be your hand. They could have opened a spade on 11 points. and partner could have 3 spades, so they didn't have the right hand to make a
And
takeout double.
look at the
And
East-West cards. You're on a finesse for 6 clubs. I mean, you're
yeah,
losing a heart, and you have to take a diamond hook here, and you might make it for God's
yeah,
sakes.
and north south is going to make 5 spades
Yeah,
unless they get the heart right. It's very difficult to get the heart
11
right
tricks on both sides. Yeah, for sure. Well,
because
would it be difficult when if they bid 4-0 to your left though? Would
well,
you guess it wrong?
it's an uncomfortable situation because you know that they have pretty extreme shape when they bid for no trump,
Right, but you're not
right?
expecting 12.
12. So the problem is that you're going to draw trumps before you attempt to solve the heart suit. And the
Yep.
moment you draw trumps, you're going to see West has no spades. So in order to get the hearts right, you got to
Yeah.
play the
You had to
person
play
who
them
has
for
no
one heart and
spades
no
to have a
spades.
singleton heart. That's a really difficult thing to do. This would be a good time. Like if they led the ace of clubs, if they told you too much about the high cards in the East hand, that like then you would
Then
say,
maybe
well,
no.
how could they make a vulnerable against
On a
not
9
5
count.
club bid with no ace of clubs? And yeah, it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it's there's not that much there, so you could sniff it out, but it would be very difficult if you made
Interesting.
5 spades on this hand. Very well done. It's
Honestly,
a
if you
hard
made 5
earned.
clubs on the hand, you did well too, and North South should have bid more.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't like being on record of telling people to compete to 5 over 5 because it's so often
Yeah.
wrong to bid 5 over 5. The reason we felt like 5 spades was the right bid with this North End, and I don't know if it is the right bid or not, is your partner's got 5 spades and you have an
Yeah.
11 card fit. So that's really if partner's got
And you're
nothing and
white
5
too,
spades.
so if you might be sacking in this place
Well,
with
that's
an
what it
11
looks
card spade
like. It
fit. Yeah.
looks like the opponents are making. That's the only reason to bid with the North Hand because if with that North Hand, I would be expecting to be going down in 5
Yeah.
spades. I wouldn't be bidding it to make. But when you start counting your defensive tricks, the King of Diamonds looks pretty good. I would expect
Yeah,
the King of
yeah,
Diamonds
for sure.
behind
King of Hearts
if they showed
though,
the minors. But the King of Hearts, what are the chances
both
that you're going to
spades
get?
look suspect also.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know,
it's pretty brutal.
you think you have an 11 card fit, so the chances are the spade's getting roughed. So that's why we kind of eventually settled for 5 spades as a sacrifice, not bidding to make. And you should have an idea. If you bid 5 over 5, you should know before you bid it whether you're bidding it to make or you're bidding it as a sacrifice. Because if you're just bidding it to bid it, then you don't have a good reason for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to know, like, I think they're making it, so I'm gonna bid 5 spades, or I think we're making it, so I'm gonna bid 5 spades. One of those thoughts has to be going through your head because if it's usually a really bad idea to bid 5 over 5. Somebody won, I don't remember who, wish I could quote them,
Yeah,
a Bowles Award tip for saying the 5 level is for the opponents.
that is a
Meaning
classic quote.
if the opponents have already bid to 5, we should not be bidding 5
Yeah.
over 5. But this was an example that we really
It can be right on occasion, but yeah, yeah. And we have one more for you guys in this. So wait, you have something more for this
I
board game?
do. I just want
Yeah,
to say that
chat. Give it
if
to me.
East honestly, I looking at it now after the 5 spade bid, we went through a lot
You
of these
might be
hands.
you might be 6
It's
clubs.
hard to believe that I wouldn't be competing to
Yeah,
the 6th level.
you have 7 cards in the minor suits and the 8 points in those 2 suits. It's pretty
Right,
crazy.
you're thinking your partner's bid against not to the 5
Yeah.
level. The chances are our hand is pretty useful
And
for
minus
partner.
200 is a damn good stack. That's 6 diamonds or 6 clubs doubled down 1, right? That's pretty good for our business here. All right, we had one more problem for you guys for the last piece of this set, and it is a question about board 10. Here it is, folks. You are the dealer. What do you open on board 10 with the East hand here, folks? What do you open? Well, let's let our panel describe what they open here, Gavin. Let's take a look at that, and we'll see you on the backside of that. Board 10, we had another question for you guys, and this was just to prove a point for the rest of the people watching. This is something any of you that watched any of our videos will understand. This is a one no Trump bid by all of the best
Yeah, we
players
all did that.
on planet Earth,
if
right
you
there.
had Zach doing it, he would not have opened.
Oh yeah,
From Boston, all those New England guys.
I'm just saying, like, you know.
it's food for thought for everybody watching this out there, folks. This is what the experts are doing, or this is at least what the best players we could find to do this are doing. Like the experts, I'm sure, are doing a lot of the same stuff, but you know, this is just normal these days. A good 14 opens a no Trump because that's what the value of the hand is.
There's 2 things about it. One is that we all want to upgrade our 14 counts, and the other is that we're all willing to open a no Trump with a 5 card major. Both of those 2 things, happy with it, in fact.
Yep. Even a major this
Or,
good.
and having two suits completely on the stops.
Yep.
It's just not a consideration.
I mean, the main idea is with your opening bids, you want to shrink the possible amount of hands you can have as quickly as possible. So you open one no trump, you got a balanced hand, you got this amount of points. You know, you open one heart, you could have still 11 to 22. You can have pretty much any shape. And, you know, I mean, it might be good. You know, you might not die from it, but realistically, you want to just get to the point straight away.
Funny, the hand we had earlier when a heart, a spade, and no trump, and they got to 6 spades, and we were discussing how good the hand could be on dummy. None of us could have 2 key cards and king, queen, jack, 5th of hearts.
Because you would have opened one no trump.
We were discussing that as a hand, but it can't. It's an impossible hand. We would never have king, queen, 5th. But I'm saying, like, there's no good 14 count hitting on dummy from top players. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like.
Well, and the negative inference is really great for that too. In that specific spot, you can just know it's not happening.
And there's no good 13 count.
Right. As we go further down the rabbit hole, right? Well, great stuff at Cran. That was a really great way to put it as well. You guys should listen. And that's it, folks. This is a one no trump opener for all the experts, even with 14 and a 5-card major, even with 2 suits totally unstopped. This is best for business. Don't you agree, Mr. Wolpert?
Oh yeah, and you heard from them. It's just automatic.
We just had to have this in here to show you guys kind of the normal expert modern standard of bidding. Even playing 15 to 17 no trump as your range, this equates to that. And that's it for the first 10 boards of your instant match point experience. We'll be back with 2 more sets, boards 11 to 20 and 21 to 30, folks. See you in those. Gavin, thanks again, buddy.